We're going live, Max. I'm trying to find my mouse. Here's my mouse, but it kind of isn't working for a good reason, Max. This is kind of a bittersweet ending to this series. And, because it's all about crypto coffee. And I just want to share with you, as I was waiting for you and Todd Lewis to come on, Max. It was about 11:57. And I'm like, you know what? Screw those guys. Normally, guests come in for a quick sound check, maybe at 11:50 or 10:50 or 10:55, and you guys aren't there. And so I'm like, screw them. I go over and I grab my coffee, take a sip, but it didn't really work out that way. I went over, grabbed my coffee, it hit my microphone, and let me share with you 3 minutes prior to the show, my world. Look at that. Talk about a shit show 3 minutes before. So look, this is not me blowing my nose, or it's not toilet paper or anything else, guys. But I had to clean up quickly. So if I'm a little slow with the mouse, it doesn't seem to be catching up with me very easily. So let me see if I can stop that screen share. Welcome to the show. Welcome. This is Uncle Vigilante. You can call me Uncle V. And what? I unapologetically cover Epic Cash. And you are tuned into Crypto Coffee Live with Todd Lewis and Max Freeman today, where we are going through a series. Now, you don't see Todd Lewis because he said, excuse me. And I know when he says, excuse me, can you give me 5 minutes? That either means his kid just popped him in the head with a Nerf dart, and it was a really good shot, maybe in the eye, I don't know. Or his kid, broke something and is in the hospital. There comes Todd Lewis.
I was going to talk about him when he was out, but I guess there's nothing. I'm going to share your secrets. It's okay. It puts you in a good light. So programmers,
nobody's listening anyway. I mean,
how like I'm listening on headphones right now. Autistic nerds in the corner, rocking themselves like in their own little world. Todd is such an elite programmer that he actually welcomes the chance for kids to hit his head with Nerf darts while he's programming, just to prove that he can stay focused despite that kind of distraction.
Todd,
can't see it, but I'm actually programming right now
with his toes.
Yeah, I think not. Todd, I was just sharing. I don't know if you saw, but yeah, this happened 3 minutes prior to going live, and so I was scrambling for 3 minutes. What a way to start this crypto coffee series, with a nice big gulp that never made it down my esophagus.
Sometimes you get the coffee, sometimes the coffee gets you.
That is true. Well, everyone, welcome. Before we begin this series, which is the quest for superior money, and we're on our last episode, I think. We just have 6 more boxes to go through before we kind of have a final version that I can then submit to Spencer and his team. We do, by the way, Max and Todd, I would like to have one, final round of looking at the definition of terms and just making sure that you two are comfortable with what we have or how we might edit them. And then community, I promise you, we will distribute this interactive PDF that then you can use to educate yourself, educate others, just to have some fun with it. And there'll be a second PDF that is not interactive, but it'll reveal all of the answers. And so that'll be kind of a useful cheat sheet for you. But before we move on, as you guys can see, I'm a big deal because I'm wearing a gold chain with an Epic Cash coin on it. And many of you over this last year have been amazingly supportive of my daughter, Alex, who makes these Epic Cash coins. As you guys know, she's been off the reservation for a good while right now. She ended up having really, really bad lung damage, which we go back to two things. One is, glad he's in the rear view mirror, but she had a boyfriend who came in drunk as a skunk and put his pizza box with the pizza in the oven and turned it on broil. And then he passed out and the whole apartment ended up with this black smoke, and fire people showed up, everything. And Alex inhaled a lot of that smoke. And so that's probably where the damage begun. And then she just went into, like, I don't know where anybody stands on it, but somebody might say, hey, she had a severe case of CV-19, or she had a serious case of VAXX damage. I don't know. That's up to the good Lord to understand. But anyway, she has been fighting her way out of this. And this last week, she made the attempt. She has all the glass pieces that are ready to go. And the last part of this, I don't know if you can see it, but it's the soldering, okay, that solders all of these together. When she solders, there is this really strong black smoke that comes up that usually isn't a big deal, but even with a fan that we had on it and everything, it threw her back. And so what we have agreed to now, you'll either think this is pretty cool, or you'll think, you're not as good as your daughter. But over the weekend, I am going to go over to her house, and I have always been very artistic, by the way, and I am going to learn how to solder so that she does not have to do that part that is proving to be destructive, because we really want to fulfill all of the coins that are on order. Thank every single one of you for your patience. I wanted to give you that update. And look, if you get the coin and you don't think it's soldered perfectly, I'll buy it back from you. I'm serious. So, okay, that's enough of that. Alex just asked if I'd please give you that update because she's felt incredibly guilty, but you know what? Health comes first, everybody, and I'm sure you can appreciate that. Okay, I want to just start off really quickly because I know Todd Lewis, the first thing that he asks about is Epic Cash price. And I just want to take a snapshot and say that was from yesterday. Thank you, Yoga Dude. But looks like the two people who were on here that were hip to hip in the original design, that it looks like you guys did pretty well at even when crypto goes into the winter, we're holding our own pretty well. So I'll stop with that, and I'm going to open it up. Just to give everyone a peek at this. This is indeed what this is all about. And we have just 6 boxes to final affirm. Regulation friendly. By the way, Todd, Lewis, welcome to the show. Max, welcome to the show. Sorry about that. Shitty host here. Are you still, Todd, in Vegas? Because I know you...
I'm in Arizona. I'm going to Vegas tonight and then back to Brazil.
Oh, and then you go back to Brazil. Okay. So our future crypto coffees, which, by the way, is going to live past this series because there's no way. I mean, people just can't get enough of Todd Lewis, and it's always a fun blessing when Max graces us with his presence too. And who knows, maybe Todd, I don't know, maybe some of your devs that are working on really cool stuff, I don't know, maybe I can interview a thumbnail or two from your team. Just throwing it out into the universe.
And also, way down among Brazilians, coffee beans grow by the millions. So they've got to find a lot of cups to fill. They grow an awful lot of coffee in Brazil. Okay. Is there a way that I can send you some Epic Cash for you to fulfill some of that beautiful Brazilian coffee to Florida? I want to create a use case right now, Todd Lewis. We may be able to get you a bag or two. We'll see.
Yeah. Hey, Todd Lewis, I just have my people talk to your people about those bags. You know what I
All
mean?
about global commerce, right?
Max Freeman, you have any good morning cheer to share before we dig in?
No, let's dig right in.
All right. Well, that was very encouraging.
No, sorry, I had you on mute. I've been background tasking.
I'm
I'm
joking.
on page 27 of the diligence for our friends.
20 page of the diligence for
27.
Oh, 20. Okay. Okay. I know which friends you're talking about. So
When people want to give you money, they ask for documents and stuff.
Godspeed, my friend. All right. So the quest for superior money. We arrived at about 35 attributes or qualities that if really smart people from different walks of life that represented different assets could kind of agree on what would the attributes be if you could from scratch design superior money. And we compare Epic, Bitcoin, gold, Federal Reserve notes, and the devil's currency, Federal Reserve digital credits. And we have gone through all of these, and each one of these, I could just pick one. Was it a fair launch? Epic was, Bitcoin was, gold was. Now, there have been some edits, so I don't know. Maybe one of these is wrong. I'm just showing you that I went and I took my guess. And what this has been a process the last few weeks is getting Max on with Todd to just go through these final ones where I didn't agree with Todd, and it's likely, Todd won, with Max on the line. Todd won a lot more than I did, even though we're not, competing. We're just trying to create something special here. So let's look at regulation friendly. I have Epic, yes. Bitcoin, yes. Gold, no. Federal Reserve notes, yes. And digital credits, yes. And I will tell you, because I know you are a stickler, Todd Lewis, let's look at the 1 out of 4 billion opportunities that might make this. So really, this to me, I was thinking about Howey compliance. But so
You see
it's
the definition.
There you go. What are we talking about here?
Leave it to the engineer.
Leave it to the engineer. Regulation friendly. Comprehensive, to be considerate of the many requirements of law. Epic is compliant with laws that assure protections granted to citizens.
Well, that doesn't help much.
Max, what do you think from a definition of terms?
Which one are we talking about again?
Max,
regulation friendly.
Oh, are you done with page 28 now?
No, sorry. Okay, I'm going to focus. Single thread now.
In what sense is Epic regulation friendly? Because I'm happy to accept that, but
yeah. This is fundamental. Okay, so we are friendly to regulation in that the prevailing trend of legislative tendencies in the world predominantly helps us rather than hurts us. The ways that regulation can hurt us is more limited than it would impact competitors, and on balance, it's a positive. An example of that for Epic is how it's designed to be within the commodities laws regulated by the CFTC, which is a lot more reasonable than the SEC, which seems like it's out to kill everything because it thinks most crypto assets are securities, and they're probably right. So in that way, it's regulation friendly. Yeah, what do you think?
Is that it, or is there more?
I think that's the heart of it. I think also this is more about the overall stack rather than Epic itself necessarily, but I think EUSD, obviously, transparency and full surveillability is a bug for a lot of cases, but it's also a feature for a lot of cases. Like if I'm paying tax dollars and I want to know where they go, there's a level of transparency that is there.
I think we should leave EUSD out of it. It really should be just
okay.
a discussion.
All right, sure. So then I rest my point on the original one.
Okay, in that case, I think that gold deserves checkbox. Gold is the ultimate commodity. gold is regulated as a commodity, and gold is not in any way subject to SEC regulation as a security.
Okay, then I didn't notice that we had a checkbox or an X, and I'm not necessarily disagreeing, but I want to add a point, which is that we are more regulation friendly in that if powers that be decide to make gold trading illegal, it is very dangerous and obvious to decide that rule isn't for you. Whereas with us, an executive order 6102 type thing is like, okay, honey badger, don't care.
And that is kind of what I was thinking when I hit X. I was just going back to when they outlawed gold. So to me, that happened.
And also windfall gains, windfall taxes, annual property tax if you have to declare your holdings, the difficulty of transportation, of storage, of transacting, of insurance.
Well, I could turn that around and say that actually is regulation friendly.
Oh.
Yeah, I think gold. I mean, I'm okay with a check mark here.
Okay. Well, let's make it a check mark. That was easy, guys.
No need to be contentious.
No need. All right. Well, let's talk about scalability and fast. I have yes for Epic. I have no, I'm sure, for Bitcoin. Gold, I have no. That doesn't seem scalable or fast. And I have Federal Reserve notes and digital credits. Yes. And what did we have an issue here on? I can't remember.
Well, I might quibble about gold, but I might not, right? So gold does not scale down to small transactions very well. And it's certainly not fast. So I think I'm actually okay with that one.
Okay. Cool.
I may quibble on Federal Reserve digital credits because I read the Project Hamilton white paper. I think these guys are years and years away if they ever release anything. Is my take, knock on wood. But they claimed a 1.7 million transactions per second number, which is an attention-grabbing headline. Sounds great, but then when you actually read it, it says important questions regarding auditability have been left to a further phase of the study, meaning the numbers can't be counted on to add up. So I don't think that. Huh?
Max, if I could, I think a clarification is in order here. The reason we said digital credits and not central bank cryptocurrency is we were including the current Fed system that dates back to the
Okay, sure.
And we were just treating the potential migration of that system to a blockchain as an evolution of that system, right? And I think FedWire can clearly is clearly scalable and can be fast. The reason it's not in practice is because of the banks, not because of the Federal Reserve.
Right.
Great.
Alrighty. No need to be contentious. Let's move on.
I nailed that one, baby.
Nailed it.
Available to the unbanked, and we had a little bit of contention here on Bitcoin. I had yes to us, yes to gold, yes to Federal Reserve notes, and I had no to digital credits, which now that I'm thinking
works for me.
Yeah,
I think that's right. I think all those are right.
The only one I would quibble on is maybe Bitcoin, right?
Oh, come on.
I'm not saying it's a good solution. I think Epic's definitely superior. But if you think about the level of difficulty for the unbanked to acquire gold, and they do by the hundreds of millions, okay? So we empirically know that gold is available to the unbanked because it's actually used by them. But if we compare the difficulty there, I think the difficulty to get your hands on Bitcoin is comparable.
Then let's change it. Available to the unbanked poor. because that's
And I'm well, I don't even know that we didn't do that. I'm okay putting an X on Bitcoin. It's just something of a judgment call.
Okay.
And the reason
Go ahead.
the reason I think that's important is because if you're a part of the dollar a day crowd, then a $2 to $81 transaction fee doesn't work. And also, if you don't have KYC, then you can't buy it. And if you don't have special equipment, then you can't mine it. So it's highly exclusionary on those bases.
I think
I think that's fair.
I think the spirit of the quest for superior money, we would it fits the spirit, that line. So frickin' Uncle V nailed it again. All right, widespread acceptance. I have a big X for us. I have an X for Bitcoin with a qualifier. Gold, we have a question mark. I have a check for Federal Reserve notes and a check for Federal Reserve digital credits, because Todd Lewis has educated us that those actually became came first. And so gold is the issue, but I have X.
I'm actually okay with this.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Max?
Sorry, say that again.
How about
widespread
you?
acceptance?
Todd is good with these. Are you?
Widespread acceptance. Yeah. Well, no. Federal Reserve digital credits will not be widespread accepted, because they will not be accepted in Russia, in China, in North Korea.
I disagree that the dollar is the dominant currency of international trade. So if you say that it's not perfect, then I mean, if anything,
no, I'm saying digital credits, they won't allow those people onto the system. Right now, they have ways to get around it with the euro dollar, and there's leakage. But when it moves onto the CBDC way, it's going to be perfect exclusion.
Okay, but still, the dollar is and the FedWire version of the dollar is accepted in the single largest economy in the world. It is the single most widely accepted means of payment.
I'm okay. I'm okay conceding this one.
Okay, good, because that means I freaking nailed it.
You're on a roll, Todd.
Because this is all about me. This is somehow the universe weighing in on the fact that my coffee went all over my keyboard and all my notes. So we're down to the last one, guys. Now we have for us FF, which is a future feature. And Todd, I really want to, because we've had people asking, because they heard you talking about your little fun sand playbox that you've been working on, something like this. So I'd like you to just tell us about it. And I had Bitcoin, not future proofed, and gold, Federal Reserve notes. We took issue with. I can't remember, Todd, if you were like, no, I think that's future proof. I think you used Saddam Hussein or something as your reasoning, and Federal Reserve digital credits, no. Do we have any open commentary on this?
I'm plugging in a power cable so I don't lose you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would. Federal Reserve digital credits are not currently future proofed, so I think that's fair. Federal Reserve notes are the one for me. I think Federal Reserve notes are pretty quantum future proof. I don't think that the quantum crypto apocalypse would significantly reduce acceptance of physical banknotes, and if anything, I would think it would increase it.
I think that's exactly what was circled. So that's was your point. I see.
So I would give Federal Reserve notes a check mark for the same reason as gold. They're physical commodities. They're not affected by a quantum breakthrough.
Yeah, I think that's right. Max, do you agree?
Yeah. I mean, there is the issue of how the political entity behind those notes would be affected by whoever gained the quantum supremacy. But I think the example of Iraq, where they circulated the dinar notes at a premium, even though they were technically worthless, could be relevant here. So I'm inclined to agree.
Okay, good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps this up, but we're not done yet. Come on. Something's funky happening with my, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm trying to interact with it and it's not interacting. Let me get out of it and go out to a PDF and come
All
back.
software has bugs, especially that made by humans.
Jesus. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to stop sharing and I will know that those are right, or that we're putting a check mark under Federal Reserve notes. So duly noted. Thank you, guys. I do want to give a little shout out to last night. We did kind of a last minute live stream, and in the chat right now is epic_hodler, also known as Jam. And he's the one that took the lead on Epic Cash's Twitter Spaces and is doing just a fantastic job. So great job. It was really, really fun, nice interview. I recommend highly that anybody interested in Epic. It was just a fun interview. I love talking to him. We're going to have a monthly at the beginning, the first of each month, not the first day, but the first week, Jam is going to come back on, because what's better than Uncle V and Jam, man? And he's going to talk about the Twitter Spaces, the 4 that will have been done the month prior, just kind of an update, what was discussed, any positive takeaways, anything that might affect our future, what did we learn? It's just going to be fun. So I like being able to add, like I've said lots of times, I hope there becomes 100 Uncle V's out there. And Jam, while focused on Twitter Spaces, definitely has a great voice to evangelize Epic. So Jam, would encourage you, even if you wanted to start your own YouTube channel, that would be cool too. And that is what we call an oar in the water. So, all right, gentlemen, thank you, man. You guys wrap this up. This is the bookend. This one that we just went through is the bookend. And
we
Todd,
made it easy because you got everything right, Uncle.
yeah. And Todd Lewis, thank you for many, gosh, what's it been, 3 months or more of you did an outreach, and we kind of this idea was born to do something like this, to where you could come at it from, an engineering side of it and educate the community on attributes of money. It's just been a fantastic show. I've learned a boatload. And I am going to create this, as I already have, as a series within my YouTube channel, so people can just go back to it and binge watch it all. I've been a failure at going back and adding those to the series that I already created. I think we only
not yet a success.
What's that?
Not yet a success, not a failure.
That's right. Not yet a success. I will successfully complete this when I run out of excuses. How about that? So Max is working on page 29. Max, talk to
sorry, I thought I was on mute. Shit. Yeah, 31.
Busted.
Yeah.
So Max, let me just ask this open-ended question. And it's very serious. This exercise kind of could feel, from the outside looking in, that these yahoos from Epic Cash were leading the witness, because when you take a look at it, other than widespread acceptance, Epic Cash gets a check mark in all the right categories. So do either of you feel that we've led the witness, or has this been a pretty pragmatic approach that
well, I think it's done a good job of capturing what our intentions were, right? I mean, people can disagree with us about our judgment calls or the definitions or the rest, but the thing that I had hoped that we could get across, and that I think we did, was our sense of mission in terms of creating a superior form of money, right?
Yeah.
I think it did a great job of communicating what that intention was and talking about not just the engineering reasons, but the monetary reasons why we built it the way we did.
Mm-hmm.
Something that Max and I talk a lot about, and is I think is really underappreciated at large in the cryptocurrency community. I don't hear nearly enough discussion about what is money and what makes good money and why are these issues important. And that's
also, like, if somebody can identify other properties of superior money that are desirable that we missed, that aren't on there, lies of omission, right? So if there's other stuff, if you feel it's unfair on that, then let us know. But we really think we hit all the bases here because it was explicitly designed for this. And I think it's a failure of imagination, a failure of courage. I can't tell you how many tens of thousands of people for years told me that I'm, criminally insane and like stupid for thinking that you could challenge the big dog. Oh my God, BTC, it's the be all and end all forever. And beyond that, like, of course, King Dollar, until the end. So imagining that the world could be a different way is beyond what most people are willing to consider. And so we just started from first principles, saying, if we had a perfect tool, what would it do? And then we said, is there tech that can deliver those things? And we said, wow, let's go build it.
And this is the beauty of technology, is we actually can change the world this way. 80% of all internet users access the internet through America Online.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The fact that the future hasn't come true yet doesn't change the fact that it's in the future.
Right. Now, yet here we are. We sit at,
and it doesn't come from time. It comes from people doing the work to create the better solutions and to create the new world.
And here we are, gentlemen,
that's what Epic is about.
Trading at just over $1 with a market cap of 12 million. Someone on the outside looking in, or just looking at coin market cap, or the way that people traditionally just quickly assess. We have such a huge body of content on my channel alone, let alone others, that show me another project that takes a deep dive like we have with Epic Cash. And I know price is a lagging indicator, but based upon what I've learned over the last 18 months, we are still just so undiscovered, undervalued. There's going to be a point, though, that I believe, Max, I know the documents you are working on, and you're on page 31, maybe 32. I don't know. But what's around the corner, Max? Todd, how is it that we're going to?
Can I go first? Because I've got to run. Yeah.
Absolutely, Todd.
I'm going to see Max. So we have a working proof of concept on the quantum resistant proof of work algorithm. So I'm super excited about that. And in the coming months, we're going to be getting that integrated into Epic and running on our FluNet. So we'll have a break glass in case of emergency, already in the code, already ready to go for quantum resistant proof of work. And it's also proof that the other categories of future proofing that we want to do are possible, right? We can extend the proof of work and deal with whatever comes down the pike in the years to come, and keep the chain rolling, and deal with technical challenges over a long period of time. So that's
we can also
working on down in the lab that I'm at the moment I'm most excited about.
Cool.
Yeah, and then Yoga and I are going to talk to the labs guys in 23 minutes when Todd is driving to come see me. But I would also want to add that not just extend the proof of work and protect against technology scenarios, but also protect against energy scenarios. Texas had to shut down a lot of its BTC ASIC miners because of grid stress. One of our developers is affected by blackouts in South Africa. The fact of the matter is these networks, it's a feature, not a bug, but they do take energy to run, and any interruption to that is a threat. And so hold on one second, Todd. And so the other thing that we can do that I'm mainly tuned into, Todd's doing the quantum stuff with his dilithium crystals, which is fun. But I want to take the energy out with doing proof of space and time on the hard drive. We get that from Chia. So when ECK comes out, that'll be about half of the blocks which use your disk space on your mobile device or desktop. We figure it'll consume about 99% less power, but remain economically secure because you can't BS it like proof of stake. Sorry, Todd, go ahead.
No, and just like lifting up a level to the strategic question, just as Mimblewimble was a fundamental breakthrough, research continues in these areas, making proof of work less energy intensive, having more robust cryptography algorithms. And Epic is, as a community, we're determined to continue to embrace the evolution and grow in a way that I think other blockchain projects really should work harder on.
Right.
Many of them, they just set the initial architecture and then they never change. They don't design for extensibility. They don't design to be technically flexible to be able to embrace these innovations. And that's an important part of how we're building, not just for the next month and the next year, but for the decades to come.
That answers one question that I've been really excited to kind of connect these dots using the language that if Satoshi had a mulligan, or if he could travel into the future and just be here today and study today's technology and then go back, look at the history, go back and have a redo, would he have designed?
Bitcoin would look like Epic Cash.
It would look like Epic Cash, but then there's but wait. Okay, using that same argument, let's fast forward to 2030. Let's say there's something that comes out in 2019 or 2029 that makes Epic Cash look irrelevant then. What I'm hearing from you are we anticipate that and we're cool with that, right?
We anticipate it in the original.
We embrace it. We count on it. Our design accommodates anything good within the entire sector. And just to go back to the proof of work and the opportunities there, taking it off of desktops and into mobile is really interesting. But also, if you think about like these new AI chips, the so-called TPUs or tensor processing units, so they're CPU, GPU, and now TPU. A lot of these things, it has to be fast, and so they have a lot of spare capacity. These things might be running at only 10% load overall, because they have to be able to handle the spikes, because if it's 2 milliseconds late, then the user gets unhappy or whatever. So to be able to take that underutilized resource and make proof of work useful by basically like imagining the exhaust heat or exhaust gas off of a motor, kind of recirculating that momentum and that value. There's a way, Todd and I have been talking about this for years, to turn Epic into a marketplace for machine learning to train models. Basically, all the people that are doing the proof of work today that don't find the solution, if they don't find that one needle in the haystack,
making proof of work useful.
Yeah.
Hey,
so, yeah.
I was going to say, Todd, I knew you need to go, but there's one underutilized asset technologically out there that you've referred to that I want to know if you're also in your spare time working with, but carrier pigeons. Oh,
you're going to say my kids.
Your kids. No, carrier pigeons. I can just see you.
We do not have current development plans for carrier pigeons.
I've been testing the I've been practicing Sumerian cuneiform. I've got clay tablets. I've got papyrus and reeds.
Cuneiform is supported in Unicode. We could do cuneiform encoding in parallel with the emoji.
You heard it here first.
And for the eagle eyes out there, can somebody tell me when I started putting Sumerian cuneiform on my Twitter? Oh boy, long ball. Ain't seen nothing yet.
Hey, Todd,
see you, Todd.
Lewis, drive safely. Thanks for this series. All right, that was great. Just shout out Todd Lewis, man. What a
Yeah, it's great. I get to see him once every few years in person.
Yeah.
The last time he's been in Arizona for the summer with his family, and he stopped by on his way in, and I went and sat at the food court at the airport with him for a few hours. We got to catch can and stay scrappy. So he's coming out for a day.
That's awesome.
I'm going to see if maybe Alpha and Johnny and Yoga want to come, and we can, make it even more incandescent. But yeah, Todd and I have had like multiple lifetimes worth of ideas accumulated, and just humble startup mode with no resources. The dreams have always exceeded the ability to get things actually going, and that's been a little frustrating. But now we've got such momentum breeding other momentum, and can execute all this stuff in parallel. So I'm about to jump on a call with Yoga and the core devs of the protocol down in Brazil, because we focused on making it easy to develop more faster in the future through things like the right kind of choices that Todd just showed, and how we think about things. We're not just trying to ship something today. We have to ship 10 things a month 5 years from now, and how do we optimize for the full cycle, not just today. And it's really exciting. There's so much happening that the green shoots haven't even poked out above the soil, so it's not visible. But if you know where to look, it's really just stunning. So the phrase "coiled spring" keeps coming.
It's so funny. I was going to use that term, but in speaking of Yoga, I believe it was him that coined the phrase that if new technology comes along that doesn't suck, we can choose to incorporate it. So I like that too. So Max, coiled spring was coming to mind to me too, because it just feels like there's just so much energy within Epic Cash. And I know that you're fresh out of Freedom Fest, and there was just some incredible engagement there. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about our future as this just small $12 million market cap undiscovered coin?
11. And we're not going to be a small undiscovered market cap coin for long. The response to people who are kind of our target audience. Remember, there's 300 million crypto owners, which is only about 4% of the global population, let's say 5%. So for every person that owns crypto already and has an existing brand loyalty, oh my God, Cardano's the best. I'm never buying anything except XRP. Right. Get away with your shitcoin. There's 25 people, or whatever the ratio is, 20, something like that, of blue ocean that haven't formed that brand loyalty yet. And when they get that first taste of Coca-Cola versus Pepsi-Cola, they prefer our product, not a little bit, not sometimes, not 51% of the time, but always and everywhere. And it's not by a little bit. It's like, oh my God, where have you been all my life? And so I've never been more optimistic and bullish about what we're doing. And it's been a long journey. I mean, success doesn't happen. It accumulates over time, and we've just put in so much effort all day, every day for years. The thousands, tens of thousands of man hours that are going in. I mean, Epic Rising out in UK hooked up with one of my favorite authors, John Hamer, out of the UK, who writes about banking and Great Reset and stuff like that. I spoke to Doug Casey and Ben Swan for a half an hour each at Freedom Fest. We set up 100 wallets. Sean from SGT Report spent what for him is a large amount of money to buy a pretty chunky position of coins. I think he's up to 5,000 or something. And then he put his ore in the water and Rode. Spencer created a 16-page presentation that I did on video on his channel, and we got 33,000 views.
Wow.
Exactly. And I could go on, but we would be here all day. And that's the point. There is so much happening. It's not even funny. And so the bigger we get, the bigger we can get. Imagine a combustion chamber that has been slowly filling with gas or with air and fuel as it's being compressed in anticipation of lighting a spark. And we don't just want to put a lot of combustible material in the cylinder and then have a big blow up and explode the engine. No, what we've been doing is also reinforcing the cylinder walls and making sure that we can transmit that power to the ground and that we can keep lapping race after race. This is like a Formula One race, and we're just now beginning to see a little bit of what this baby can do.
Yet I remember seeing this guy who did a review of Epic Cash this last week. It was posted somewhere in our community, and you could just see the process that he goes through to declare a shit coin. No, I'm serious on this because it breaks my heart really that people just are going to skim the surface, and that's how they do it. I mean, there's so many assets out.
Everyone gets the price they deserve. There's 19,500 digital assets. It takes time to become an expert, and people think, the way to success is I'm going to have a diversified portfolio of 25 quality blue chip crypto assets.
Yeah.
The wrong thinking has been drilled into people's heads. These are not stocks. It doesn't work that way here. This is just a paradigm shift. But this is why I say everyone gets the price that they deserve. And
what do you say? What do you say to his biggest issue was, you know what? Good luck with any liquidity. If you ever wanted to get your money out of there, you're just going to crater the price. What do you say?
Because I put a comment on that channel. I said, please, for the benefit of your own audience and also out of respect for us, do a bit of cursory research before you go and slaughter people based on your own ignorance and lack of understanding. Good. So what he was doing is he was looking at the convenience service that Robert's Fast Epic miner clients asked him to set up to off-ramp onto Binance Smart Chain on PancakeSwap. So there's only about 100 people that use that service from Robert. Right. I mean, not everybody needs it. He has 1% market share or something. And so that knucklehead goes in and says, oh my God, if I try to sell $1 million of this coin on PancakeSwap, or token, I'm gonna crush the price. We're not a token, you knucklehead. You're looking at the wrong thing. And so that was just ignorant, but unfortunately it's pearls before swine. So we're at a frat party with a bottle of 1982 Chateau Petrus, and the other freshmen are pounding Jello shots, wanting to get wasted. And it's just
given to them, by the way, by 6th and 7th year seniors.
Yeah, and it's frankly disgusting. I called out, they say never meet your heroes. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. But I taunted Pompliano on Twitter a little bit recently, which I usually don't like to do. But I'm like, this guy said, in front of 1.5 million people, he was saying, we need to critically evaluate our own reasoning to make sure that we are, finding flaws in our arguments, and we need to listen to all sides and so on, something like that. And then I said, okay, then why don't you have the courage to come on the DNA of Bitcoin podcast and justify why you think that BTC will be above zero in 10 years? And crickets. And so I find the silence deafening of people that, whatever I hear what you say, but I see what you do. Yeah. And if you're talking about Bitcoin and what it used to do in 2009, but it can't do today, that we can do, that your asset can't. And meanwhile, you're telling people to go mortgage their homes and double down and spend Johnny's college fund on this can't lose investment. Yep. I'm sorry, you are just a charlatan. And so I really feel strongly that it's well past time for people to show their true colors, where they stand. And if the words need to match up with the actions, and increasingly the burden is not on us to prove that we are worthwhile. It's that others need to prove why they are still pumping other stuff. And if they can't, then they become compromised in my view. I mean, take what you like and leave the rest. Someone like Jeff Berwick, as an example, talks a lot of good stuff on a lot of topics. Yep. But unfortunately, if you listen to him on cryptocurrency, you are going to lose. If you listen to Michael Saylor, to Pompliano, to Breedlove, to Saifedean Ammous, all these guys, I'm sorry, they just simply have it wrong. And in time, that will be proven out. But in the meantime, it's like, in the short term, markets are popularity contests. It's a voting machine, but in the long term, it's a weighing machine. And so our network will be able to do over 1 billion transactions a day for a fraction of a penny, 60 times faster, and 90% greener than BTC. So why is that worth $20,000 and ours is worth $1? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I have a sneaky suspicion on the DNA of Bitcoin that the further you get towards that 12th episode, or if you even go further, guests come on, I think you will the fangs will come out a little more aggressively. I can sense it already. And I love it because it's like, I really know your heart, Max, and you are like, no, we can't placate them anymore because they're harming people.
People are getting hurt. Yeah, I'm not into conflict and I don't like friction, but a disservice is being done. All it takes for evil to prevail is for good men to stand aside and do nothing. And so I have a sword, I have a shield. I can teach you how to have a sword and a shield. You are going to be reset. And I think that calls your happiness into question. So if you don't like insects, then you better get with our program sooner rather than later.
and you know what, Max? I scale off the charts on EQ. And my EQ looked at 1155, and I have such high EQ. I feel right now for your bladder. You have 5 minutes to get to your next call. So we're going to wrap this up so that you can take that needed break and then go do smart things with yoga and Todd's team down in Brazil. How about that?
Always a pleasure. Thanks, everybody in the chats.
Yeah, you guys were great. Thank you so much. Thank you for the mods for kicking out the naked porn stars.
I love that site.
Yeah, they transact in
new AI dating. Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, perfect. My metaverse is so excited.
She even offered to help reset my wallet.
Right. You gave her your keywords too? So cool. We have something else in common. All right, everyone. We're gonna say sayonara. We will see you Friday, Epic Cash Live, noon Eastern. We have lots of topics we're going to get through, and I think you'll learn a lot. So until then, cheers. Thanks, Max.